Welcome on back to Up North at 4. Joining us now is David Tank. And David, I don't even know how to properly introduce you.
This is
You're
a tough
kind of
one.
a man with many hats. You're an author, photographer, historian. Am I forgetting anything
No,
here?
but they all go together.
They all do go together. And you're joining us today to talk about postcards from the past. It's then and now pictures of Wisconsin's Northwoods.
Yes.
Let's start here. What is this book all about?
Well, what it's about is I start out with postcards, old postcards, and then my goal is to reshoot the exact same scene as it is today.
Okay.
I like time travel. So I'm imagining that I'm the original photographer standing there taking the picture in like 1917, and all of a sudden I'm transported to today. I don't move an inch. What am I seeing through the shutter?
Oh.
So my goal is to be in exactly the same spot as the original photographer.
So off camera, you were mentioning how much you're enjoying retirement.
Yes.
And how is it hard to find that exact spot?
Sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes it seems like it'd be really easy, and then it turns hard. I have a picture in there of the church up on North Stevens Street, and that's easy to find. I go, I know right where that is. I've gone past it a zillion times. The problem is there's a gigantic lilac tree across the street where the picture was originally taken from.
Okay.
So in order to line it up, I'm literally crawling under this lilac bush, which wouldn't have been...
Yeah, is this the one where...
no, not that one. No, different one.
See if
So
I
you're
can
not
find
getting
it.
out the pruning shears and taking out the lilac bush. You're finding the spot.
Except there was a robin in the lilac bush that was very unhappy with me being in there. And I'm
this
right
story.
at the time when the thing is probably nesting.
Got it.
And I was getting scolded like crazy.
This thing's sitting there looking at you like, can I help you?
Yeah,
What are you
yeah,
doing
just
here?
get out of here.
You know, kind of thumbing through this book here, there's a lot of these where, all right, the courthouse, for example,
Yes.
in Rhinelander, historical landmark, everybody knows what it is.
Lots of postcards
A
of
lot
it.
of postcards. And I'm not going to say it's easy per se, but some of them, you're looking right down Davenport or Brown Street, whatever it is. You can kind of just line it up, find it, go. And then there's other ones I've noticed in here where the buildings don't even exist
Right.
any longer. They've been torn down or moved or what have you. What's the process like trying to figure out how to line up that shot when it doesn't even exist anymore?
Well, sometimes pieces of it will exist.
Okay.
So there's a few cards in there where you can see in the very background the tip of the courthouse, or maybe through some trees, this dome of the courthouse. That helps me line things up. Or if I can even find one or two buildings that match. That'll work, because then, you know, I can line it up. I literally go in Photoshop and draw lines around my original postcard to see what angles and things am I looking at, and then I'm trying to duplicate that real precisely. And sometimes it takes going back 2 or 3 times to reshoot it because, nope, I was 3 feet too far to the left. Or a lot of pictures are taken from the middle of the street.
Okay, yeah.
Those old photographers had to be very brave, because I'm getting out there right now and standing in the middle of the street, and I'm literally dodging the traffic, and people are not very happy with me.
People are honking at you like,
What's he doing? All right, I think this is genius because I think naturally people are curious to see how things change over time, right?
I certainly am.
And, you know, I am too. Like, I go back to the forest. I grew up next to the woods where all my tree forts were and how everything's kind of changed, right?
Yep.
And now to see this, and not just for a couple locations, this is for dozens of locations across the Northwoods. So you've been busy collecting pictures and finding postcards.
I did.
What scenes do you gravitate towards?
Oh boy, that's a tough question because, well, I'm stuck with something. I'm stuck with, did someone make a postcard originally of this scene?
right.
There's a lot of things I'd love to take a picture of, but if somebody didn't take a postcard of it before,
can't do it.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So what I'm gravitating toward is really finding postcards that look interesting from the past and then going out and trying to duplicate it.
We love it. We love this.
seriously. And I got a few more questions I want to ask you, David, but we're going to run out of time here. We're going to take a quick break on Up North at 4. Don't go anywhere. David's sticking around with us. We'll be right back. Welcome on back to Up North at 4. We're joined by David Tank, who, as I said before, you're a local author, historian, photographer. you're a man of many hats,
Well,
right?
thank you.
And so we were chatting about your newest book, Postcards from the Past, sort of chronicling a lot of old postcards that represent very significant landmarks and buildings in the Northwoods. And this one really stood out to me when I was kind of thumbing through before. I don't know if we can get a shot of this here. So Nicolay College, it's kind of weird to look. I feel like it hasn't changed a whole lot.
No,
in the past.
it's,
I think this is
it's still got to be
original,
one of the most beautiful campuses around.
It is. It is gorgeous. And this, I think it says 1975. This is from 2022. You could have fooled me.
Yeah, you could have fooled me too.
Which
Look
is
at that.
incredible.
Except for the clouds, it's the same
Yeah,
picture.
right. I know. You could have told me it's the same
And
one.
the light pole has changed.
I know.
But there's
I love it
several
so
of
much.
these. Like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the fun of this. You can look at the pictures and see what has changed in there, right?
Right.
And it could be little things like a light post, right? Or it could be the whole block or the street could have been redesigned.
Well,
or,
one thing that's helpful when lining up the shots are fire hydrants because they don't move much.
Right. right.
So when
at
I'm
all.
lining something up, for instance, there's one in there which was the refrigerator factory, and it's now apartments. Trying to figure out the lineup, on the corner, the fire hydrant is still in the same place.
Makes it so
You know,
much
they don't
easier,
move
right?
those too often.
Yeah, right. That's a big endeavor, I would assume.
So things like that are really helpful.
Yeah.
All right, so this is your 4th or 5th project, I believe, correct?
This is the 4th book I've done from Postcards of the Past. The first ones was Menominee and Dunn County, then Eau Claire, and then Chippewa Falls.
Okay.
And then a year ago, I moved up here permanently. So I spent pretty much the whole warm season here taking pictures.
Great place to retire. So,
Yes.
Nate and I are curious, what's your next project look like?
Well, the next project that I'm actually working on right now is my 4th children's mystery novel.
Oh.
In
Of course. David.
which interestingly, they time travel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, neat.
So I'm still getting the history and things into my writing.
Yeah, and there's probably lots of people out there now wondering, is there a way to get this book, right, for Christmas gifts this year?
I can't guarantee Christmas, but you can get it at postcardsfromthepast.net.
Okay.
You can order it online, and we'll just get the orders as fast as we possibly can.
Absolutely. And seriously, I mean, I'm not like lying to you or anything. When I got the copy of this book, you dropped it off here a week ago. I was thumbing through it, and I think I spent like close to an hour just not actually getting any work done. Sorry to say, Jeff.
It was prepped for this.
It was exactly. That is, I will say I was doing work, Jeff, all right? It is seriously, though, so fascinating to just look back. Like you said, you really do feel like you're time traveling.
Takes you back in time.
It is so interesting. And I think, David, the last question I do want to ask you, what really stood out during your research, during your time with this, that is really going to stick with you throughout the future from this project, Northwoods History?
Probably that there's a lot more trees today than there were back then.
Okay, that's
Oh,
good.
That's surprising. That is surprising.
That's great news.
Good news to
Yeah,
hear.
right.
So more trees. I never would have thought that.
Okay, well, we love this book. We
It
can't
is.
wait to see what you do next.
Yes.
Please come back on the show again when you come back and have this next book, mystery book written.
Yeah.
Okay.
Children's
Okay.
book, right? You were
Yes,
saying?
middle grade.
So we could read it.
We could.
We'll be fine.
Actually, I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay, good.
All right, good to know. So, David, we might have to get you on the show whenever that project is finished. So please keep
Absolutely.
in touch. In the meantime, though, seriously, go check out this book. It is fascinating. We're going to take a break, though, and up north at 4. We'll be back on news.
Thank you.